What's up, guys? Happy Sunday. Earl at Sumo Bully Kennels back at you with another one. This is going to be a good one, guys. A lot of you guys asked me for this on the side and been busy with life and everything else. However, here it is. We're going to bring you this episode of getting started as a breeder, going the female route. For you guys who've been following us, we are back in the classroom today. Let's do it. So I promise to bore you to death. However, I promise to deliver a lot of value for you guys, right? So if you haven't already done so, guys, please like and subscribe. Gentleman's agreement. If you are new to the channel, have a seat, relax, kick back. Let's get into this. And we ask that you kindly give us a like and subscribe. And comment, guys. It's really appreciate the comments. Helps motivate us. It helps us answer a lot of questions for you guys who comment or reach out to us on the DMs via Insta. That's where we're the most responsive at. So other than that, guys, let's get into this one. So have a seat, get your popcorn out, take your notes, all that good stuff. Let's really get into this, right? So getting started the female route, I like this route. This route is definitely, you have more leeway to get started and get momentum in your program. And you could do this route one of two ways. You can purchase a puppy and wait 2 years, or you can buy an adult, right? And what we're going to learn today is the numbers behind it and what you expect to make over this course of time of either 2 years or 3.5 years. So without further ado, let's do it. Let's start with setting some baseline cost, right? So here on your screen, you could see, let me see if I can make this bigger for you. Maybe make it easier for you to, oh, that's too big. Okay, no. All right, here we go. Let's start with expensive year one. We're going to go with the puppy first. Let's say you bought a puppy for $5,000, which you all know in the industry, we are in the XL lane. $5,000 is a decent budget. However, the reality is you are probably getting a third or fourth pick for that. If you are picking a quality bloodline from a reputable breeder, to be honest with you, $5,000 is not going to get you a first pick. It's not going to get you a second pick. In most cases, it won't even get you a third pick. So let's just start with a baseline of $5,000. You want to be conservative, right? Shots for your first year, call it $1,000. Crop $600. Housing and toys $500. We have to provide comforts for our babies, right? And this is the best part, right? The puppies are so cute. Love this time of the growing of the dog, you know, the development. Food utilities, I'm going to put at $200 a month, right? Here we feed 100% raw. So when I say food and utilities, well, the dog needs maybe air conditioning, maybe heating, depending on where you live. But also, you know, I do $200 because if you're going to invest this kind of money on a dog, you're going to probably supplement the dog, right? Here at Sumo Bully Kennels, we only supplement with New Vet Plus and New Joint Plus, or New Joint DS, I'm sorry. And if you have interest in that, go into our description, link below. You will get our whatever discount code. If you buy it with our code, we'd appreciate it. That helps support our cause. Doesn't make me a millionaire. I wish it did. However, it does help, guys. So it, you know, we'd appreciate it if you did. So DNA health testing, such as Embark, right? That's $150. That way, you know, if your dog has any issues, health issues, things that can be passed on that are genetic, as well as giving you a snapshot of the color coding of the dog, to really understand if you are, you know, learning how to mix and match different dogs and what kind of colors you can produce. That's very helpful when you run a pundit square. However, that's not our episode today. registration, what am I talking about here? Like ABKC, UKC, or whatever kennel club that you're part of. Dog transport. Let's say you bought the puppy local. That transport cost is going to be somewhere around $750 door to door. Or if you're like me and you did an international dog transport, roughly $4,000, right? So your year one total, $10,450, right? To get the dog, get everything the dog needs, and the first year is very expensive, guys. That's the most shots, the crop, the this, the that. Also, probably the most destructive years for your dog. Chew everything. So that's why it's important for us to have a designated space for the dog, set boundaries, so that this dog doesn't rip your whole house apart, your couch and everything else. So if you factor those things in, you might be out a couch or a chair or a pair of shoes or something, right? So moving right along, let's go into year two. Year two, your food is going to be the same, 200 times 12 months at $2,400, right? Repro cost. What is that, right? So at the end of year two, you're ready to go now. So some people like to take a girl at 18 months, the third heat. I would say the earliest I would do is the third heat. Preferably the fourth heat for me. I need the girl to be physically and mentally mature and developed, because that's going to make a big difference when it's whelping time and how well that mother is going to care for her puppies. So for me, I prefer the third or fourth heat. I actually prefer the fourth. However, if the dog is physically mature and mentally mature enough, then you can go as early as the third heat, right? And there are people who do it at the second heat, which to me, not my thing there. To each their own, right? So, repro cost, what is that? That is progesterone testing. So if you're breeding, you don't want to do the old school way of counting, and after day here, you breed day 9, 11, 13, things like that. You're leaving things to chance, and you can miss a production, which is painful financially. So for me, I'm going to progesterone test my dogs. Typically, you would progesterone test your dog around day 5 or 6, and then wait 4 to 5 days and do it again, and then you're going to know when the dog's ovulating, and you would do your first AI probably 48 hours after that. So repro cost is progesterone testing, which are typically $100 to $200 in my area. You're going to do that at least twice, sometimes 3 times if the girl is, kind of going up and down. And that also covers the reverse progesterone, so that you know when it's time to schedule your C-section and you don't cut too early and lose your puppies. Year 2 expense shots, I'm going to give you another $250 on that. That's your annuals, which, I'm overestimating that. Typically, you can get those shots for $150, but let's just say you live in a very expensive area. Round it up to $250, and that'll cover anything miscellaneous, such as heartworm, heart guard, flea and tick. Just depends on your area. So now you're ready to go. Let's go with a stud fee, right? Whether you take her at, let's just assume that you took it at the end of year 2. Let's go with a modest stud fee of $5,000. In our industry, stud fees range from $5,000 to $10,000 to $15,000 to $20,000. I've seen some stud fees open up at $3,500. So, we'll put it there. $5,000 is conservative. And again, you have your food, your feeding at $2,400 per month. C-sections in my area is roughly $1,500. I think that's a general consensus. That's a fair price. And whelping time and supplies, we are going to put at $4,000, right? So your year 2 total with everything is right here. I'm going to put it right there, $14,150, right? So your 2-year total cost of ownership of having this dog is year 1 plus year 2, which is $24,600 right here, okay? I don't know why I have this here. That's typo or something. Okay, we'll get back to that. So 14 and 10, $24,600. right there. And you're ready to go now. So let's establish that point. There's other points that I want to get into, but let's continue with this 2-year plan that when you get going, right? With starting with a puppy. So projected sales at the end of year 2 or at 18 months, whatever, we're going to keep it at year 2. We're going to be conservative and say you had 6 puppies right here, right? Just for the sake of things, we're going to keep it even, 3 males, 3 females. We'll go first pick 7, second pick 5, third pick 3,500. These numbers are conservative, right? But again, you're a startup guy. You know, maybe the dog you pick, the pedigrees, you know, a lot of things can affect this, right? What your bloodline you're perpetuating, what you're trying to create, what you're starting with. As much as people will talk about the structure of the dog, the reality is a lot of it is a popularity contest. So let's be honest here, right? It's 3 times whatever Chewbacca, 5 times Luke Skywalker, all that stuff there. Oh, this is a, you know, this dog comes from Star Wars, Disney. You know, names matter, guys. And just like names matter, so will the price you pay for that dog. And that will also affect the price that you charge for your puppies, right? But everything I'm doing is middle of the road here. So that we keep everything even keel and not be on the low end and not be on the highest end of things, right? And 6 puppies is a conservative number. Our dogs can have 6, 8, 10, 12, you know, even sometimes 13, 14 pups. So let's just go with 6 to make it easy. Here's the number, 7, 5, 35, 7, 5, 35. You see that right there. And this is what I'm referencing. For a grand total of gross sale of $31,000. If you stay within this framework, what this is you're establishing a baseline of how to draw basically how to draw your numbers, or you keeping it even keel. Now, if you had 10 pups, good for you. If your first picks are 10 grand or more, good for you. However, we want to establish a baseline here. So gross sale 31,000. Total expense now here. This 35,050. We're going to see sum of B15 and B27, B15 and B20. Oh no. Okay, so this is wrong. Hold on. Let me correct that. Sum of bam, comma, bam. That's what it is. I put in the wrong field. So your total expense after 2 years is 24,600. So if you did it this way, you have a gross profit of, in your first litter, of 6,400. Let's take that off red because it's not negative. Okay. So year 2, you had your litter. Now, this is assuming that you can sell dogs, right? We're just going over numbers here, not even going over intangibles yet. So hold your horses. Just because you had 10 puppies does not mean you could sell them. I promise you that. There's a ton of people out here breeding dogs that cannot sell a dog, you know, for $500 or $1,000. So I don't want you to get your hopes up and misguide you in that sense, right? So let's just look at numbers for here, and I'll get into intangibles in a minute. So first litter, you had a gross profit of 6,400. Okay. Now, year 2.5, right? So you bred her at 24 months. Now you're going to breed her at 6 months later. After she came to heat, she'll come in to heat again, right? So here we go. We're going to go with the same pricing structure. So this is year 2.5. Same 6 dogs, 6 puppies, same gross sale. Now your expenses, you're going to see, went down from that the first time you bred her. Why? Because, let me scroll up. Let me take my time and scroll up. Because this year 2, you've already covered the food and everything else, right? So the only expense you have on this 2.5 litter, this 11,500 right here that I'm highlighting, is basically your repro cost and your stud fee and your whelping. So you go from making $6,400 in your first litter to all of a sudden your second litter, that's absolutely incorrect. Hold on. Oh, my formulas are crazy today. I changed one thing and sorry about that, guys. Let's be accurate. Boom. You go from your first litter of making $6,400 gross profit to making $19,500 gross profit, right? And again, because you've already incurred those year two costs. So we're not going to double that expense. This $11,500 is your stud fee, your whelping costs, your repro costs, all that stuff. Because you already budgeted for feeding the dog for that year two. So now let's get into year three, right, is the third litter. Again, we're going to stick with our 6 puppies at this cost right here that I'm highlighting, giving us a total of $31,000, right? Now, total expense changes now. It goes back up to that $14,150. And you ask why? Well, I'm going to scroll up. You see this right here? $14,150. That's the repro cost, shots, stud fee, feed, C-section, and whelping. So you didn't feed this dog for this year now, because now we're in year 3, right? Let me go back to it. So that's why your total expense is this again. So again, you sold $31,000 worth of puppies. Total expense is $14,150, giving you a gross profit at the beginning of year 3 of $16,850. Okay. Now, let's say you're going to breed her one last time. You're going to do 4 litters with this girl. This is year 3.5, right? 3.5 years in. Same 6 pups. Same 31,000. Now, here. Your total expense for this litter is $11,500, just like the other one. Why? Because you already fed the girl and you gave her the shots this year. All you're doing is paying for another stud fee, C-section whelping repro cost, giving you a gross profit of $19,500 on that 4th litter. Let me slow that down to make sure everyone's still with me, right? All the numbers are right there. So what happens when you look at all this and you started with a puppy? Now we're 3.5 years in. This is her 4th breeding. You bred her at year 2. Hold on. Year 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. That's 4 litters. 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5. 4 litters right there, right? So let's look at that. What happens? Well, your total revenue for 3.5 years for one female is $62,250. That's over the course of 3.5 years. The first 2 years you didn't breed her. The back 1.5 years you bred her. There it is. So if you had 2 females, $124,500 in 3.5 years. If you had 3 females, $186,750. If you had 4 females, $249,000. Right, over the course of 3.5 years with those 4 females, following this formula that I put up here. Now, before you get excited and become a millionaire, let's go over something that most people don't talk about. Here it is, intangible cost per year. What does that mean? Marketing, number 1 line item. Look, I don't care if you have 30 puppies in one litter. If you can't sell a puppy, it doesn't matter how many pups you had or how great they look. Therefore, marketing is mandatory, right? A minimum of 2 hours weekly times 52, right? Times $20. That's 104, giving you a cost of 2,080. Makes sense. 2 hours a week times 52 weeks, 104 right here. Multiply that by 20, that's 2,080. Okay. Research and development. What is that? That means staying on top of your game, being aware of what's going on in the industry, following trends, not getting left behind. You're going to invest at least 100 hours a year on that, or roughly an hour and a half. Let's just say hour, 2 hours a week. That puts us at $2,000, right? If you paid yourself $20 an hour. Daily care, feeding, poo pickup. This is 365 days a year. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. There's no way around this. Let me just open this field a little bit more. There you go. 730 hours a year times 20 bucks, $14,600, right? Feed your dogs twice a day and pick up poo. Give them their supplements and all that. That's at least 2 hours a day. No way around it. If you got a faster way, please message me, DM me, let me know so I can get by my day faster. Okay, dog care when you go on vacation. And you know what? You should go on vacation. You should enjoy your wife if you have one, your children if you have them, or yourself if you don't have none. Go out, disconnect. Give that time to yourself or your family to disconnect from your business, your dogs, whatever it is, and just clear your mind. And you'll come back more motivated, more dialed in, more grounded. This is super necessary for your mental and emotional and spiritual health. Go on vacation, someone's got to care for your dogs, $1,500. That's what I would pay if you came here and took care of my dogs. I'd pay you, no problem. I understand how valuable this is for me, and therefore I'm going to be generous, and I'll probably tip you on top of it. So, photos and videos, 2 hours weekly, right? Times 52 weeks, 104 hours. If you paid yourself $20, because there's no way in hell you're going to get a photographer and pay him $20 an hour for a quality photographer. You can kiss that one goodbye. So you're going to become the photographer at $2,080 a year. Understand this, guys. Time is money, and there's a cost association to time. And therefore, we're going to be kind and just leave it at $20, even though it should be more. So this is photos, videos, editing, and anyone who takes photos and videos of their dog knows it's more than that. Just the picture taking alone is 2 hours. Then you got to edit and, try to crop and try to, sift through 100 pictures just to use one or two. That's what I'm talking about. Business setup. This is optional if you want to set up a real business. Take you about 10 hours, $1,500 in expenses. Business insurance, optional again. It depends on your area. If you're rural or, a metropolitan area, that's going to make a difference in the neighborhood you're in. So I didn't put a price on that. Social media. One of the key places to market your kennel, yourself and your dogs. If you're not putting in 2 hours, at least 2 hours a week, times 52, giving you 104 hours at $20 is $2,080, right? This would be, all these intangible costs would be the reason you're not selling any dogs. So, communication, 2 hours per week. Again, 104 hours a year times $20, $2,080. Networking, 2 hours a week, 52 weeks times 20, 104, $2,080. Right. So, for a grand total of intangible cost per year of $31,500. Now, do you have to do these things up here? No. You don't have to do them. But what happens when you have a production and no one knows or no one cares? That's actually more important than anything, because once you have the litter, you're going to put out there that you had a litter, right? Because now you want people to know you. Now you want people to have interest in what you produce. The problem is you haven't called me all year, right? So now you're trying to call me like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Hey, man, are you interested in, like, no, at this point, I don't care. You know what I mean? It's, if you haven't tried to, communicate with me or reach out to me and catch my attention over the course of the year, but now you have something that you want something from me. You want my money to buy your puppies, right? Bottom line, right? Let's be honest about it. However, you haven't got me invested into what you're doing. I'm sorry. I'm probably going to pass over and look over your production because honestly, I don't care. I don't care because you didn't make me care. Why would I care if you don't? If all these things right here I just talked over, right? Oh. Intangible costs. You didn't put this time in right here. Highlighting in gray. No one even knows you exist or that you're a whatever. Or that you're even there. However, now that you have a production, you're trying to make some money back and make a profit. Now all of a sudden you want to post your puppies and talk about your stuff. However, no one's paying attention to the truth. Because all these things have to happen before the production. You don't launch a product and then market it afterwards. That's not the order of things. You build a marketing campaign around the product before it's launched. That way when you launch it, there's a line wrapped around the store waiting to buy that product. Just look at when they release a new pair of Jordans or, the new iPhone, right? Even though it operates the same way, it looks the same way, what happens the first time they release a new iPhone, right? The next model. There's a line. Jordans, they sell out before you can even, people camp out the night before and buy 2-3 pairs. This is what I'm talking about, the intangible cost per year. The marketing, the pictures, the research, communicating, networking, operating in the space the way you're supposed to. And understanding, first of all, where your space is. Because not everyone you deal with, you should be dealing with. You shouldn't be giving your time, you should be giving your time to the correct people. And so all these things that intangible cost per year that no one discusses are real. I pick up poo once a day, twice a day. I feed my dogs twice a day. Every week, every other week, I grind 300-400 pounds of food, which costs me about 8 hours. No one sees me doing it. I do it anyway because I'm committed to my cause. And picking my dog's pedigrees, genotypes, phenotypes is one thing. The other thing that I can control is nutrition. And so I'm not going to leave nutrition up to however the kibble industry feels that they're going to put it in my feed to ruin my dog. I have high value dogs and I'm going to feed them that way and supplement them that way and give them the proper nutrition. So anything I feed my dog, I could put on a pan or I could bake and eat myself. That's how I feel about it because that's one aspect of my kennel that I can't control. Cleanliness, organization, nutrition, feed, supplementation, the medicals, the shots, inoculations, right? To make sure my dogs are up to date, up to speed with everything, the most cutting edge stuff that's available for my dogs. That's what they're getting, right? So intangible cost, really, people will find out the hard way because if you didn't put in your time with all these intangible costs, you have a litter. Now you're struggling to sell dogs. You have a fire litter, right? Let's just say you had a great vision, great pedigree, great genotype, great phenotype, and then you produced, the girl took, she dropped a litter of 10 beautiful dogs, but you can't sell, but 1 or 2 of them. Now you have 8 amazing pups that have no value in the marketplace, right? This is a two-sided coin, guys. One thing is being a dog man. The other side is being a businessman. And until you establish yourself in the industry and plant your flag and carve out your real estate so that people know who you are, at that point, yeah, this intangible cost per year goes down because you're established. But until you are, you're going to be doing this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years, 7 years, whatever it takes for your company to get there. And make no mistake about it, this is a business and you are a company. Whether you're a legitimate company or not, you're still a company. Unless you're giving dogs away for free, you're operating as a business. Regardless how legitimate or illegitimate, whatever, however you want to categorize it, what I'm trying to clarify is that you're a business. So anyhow, that's the total cost. All these hours right here, right? At a mere $20 per hour. Now, mind you, this is 365 year round. It's raining, no one cares. You got to pick up that poo. It's 10 degrees outside. Snowing, you got to pick up poo. Dog's got to go out. Dog's got to eat. You're tired, doesn't matter. Dog has to eat, you got to pick up poo. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is a 365 year-round, everyday commitment, guys. Please understand what you're getting into. You either love it or you don't, and if you don't, think about it. Don't let all these fancy numbers and big numbers fool you, because this is a time commitment, guys. And now on the flip side of things, it can be very rewarding. So again, going down here, let's touch on this before we go to the adult route. 3.5 years, right, is your time frame. One female, starting from a puppy. There you go. That's your gross revenue, $62,000. 3.5 years, 2 females, $124,000. 3.5 years, 3 females on your yard, $186,000. 3.5 years, 4 females, almost $250,000, right? Basing off 6 pups at a very conservative number of 7, 5, and 35. Very simple formula to follow. Now, all this doesn't happen unless you do this, intangibles. Because if you don't do this, well then that's 7, 5, 35 on your sales. 7, 5, 35, 7, 5, 35. That's not going to happen. Because who's going to buy your stuff? And now you have a lot of dogs and puppies and you can't move them. So please definitely keep that in mind, guys. And maybe one day I'll do a live on this so that people can ask questions, because it would have been cool for us to be like going back and forth talking about it. I'm going to consider that actually. Next time we do classroom, I think I might start doing lives with classroom. So anyhow, now let's flip up. Let's go the adult female route. I'm going to scroll back up, go over what it's going to cost us to do this. Expense of year 1, adult female purchase, quality female, maybe had 1 litter or no litters. Quality bloodline, expect to pay $15,000. Registration $50, shots $250, housing and toys $500, food and utilities $2,400 a year, $200 a month times 12. DNA health test $150, dog transport $750. Unless you go international route like I did, you're going to be between $4,000 and $5,000. Repro cost $1,000. We're going to stay with the same $5,000 stud fee. C-section roughly $1,500. Whelping $4,000. So your year 1 expense for this girl, $30,600 versus your year 1 expense on a puppy of $10,450, right? So if you look at year 1 on a puppy and year 2 on a puppy, gives you $24,600, and an adult female is $30,600. You're going to pay roughly $7,000 more, somewhere there, ballpark, right? Excuse me. All right. Bought an adult female, 18 months or older. She's ready to go. For comparison purposes, assuming that the genotype phenotype is what you like, we're going to keep the litter at 6, and we're going to keep the same format of 7,000 first pick, 5,000 second pick, 3,500 third pick, for the males, and the female, same thing, 7,535, giving us a grand total of 31,000. Now, her first litter, your expenses, we just went over that, $30,600, giving you a gross profit of $400. Yay, you just changed the world. Anyhow, second litter for your adult female, same thing. I'm not gonna bore you to death, but the total sale is 31,000 based on our format. Now the expenses change, right, to 11,500. Why? I'll go up and show you. You paid everything for this girl for year one with her, even though she's almost 2 years old. Now you're just paying the repro, the stud fee, C-section, and whelping right here. Bam. Because you've already had her registered, you already got her shots, you already got her toys, you already fed her, health tested her, and you've already transported her. So that total here is, look, 1,514, 11,000, right? 11,500. So when you go to your second litter with this adult, your total expenses for this litter to make this breeding happen is $11,500. Your gross sale was 31, giving you a gross profit of 19,500. So if you add that with your first litter, you almost had 20 grand right here in the first 12 months that you had this girl. Not bad, right? Okay. Third litter. Now, this is the second year you're having her. Your expenses go up again because you got to feed her again. Right? Same thing. Your gross sales, 6 dogs, 31,000, and that's pretty conservative. Total expense, and so your So now your gross profit on that third litter is 16,850, lower than your second litter because you had to feed her that year and give her shots, right? Now, in the fourth litter, you've already fed her, you already given her shots. So again, 11,500 is your reproduction cost, your stud fee, whelping, C-section, all that, giving you a gross sale of gross profit of $19,500. So let's say you only had 4 hits on this adult. She's right now right around 3.5, 4 years old, and you're going to retire her out. Oops, sorry. So over the course of 24 months that you've had her, because you got her as an adult, your gross profit is going to be $56,250. That's off one dog. So if you had 2, $112,000. If you had 3, $180,000. If you had 4, $240,000. Ballpark. You see what I'm saying? $240K. Now, the caveat with an adult female is you didn't raise her. You don't know her manners. You don't know her, her etiquette, her what am I trying to say here? Her demeanor, her temperament. Temperament's the word I'm looking for. When you get an adult female, and I bought 2, got to be careful now, because you're going to mix that into your yard of puppies and sub-adults and adults. This dog might not play nice with your dogs. You will have to build that bond with this dog, because you're going to have to handle an adult dog that you didn't handle as a puppy. So you don't know all the quirks about a dog. And even though our dog is a companion breed, very, they say docile, very people friendly, keep in mind that it's very stressful from an adult dog, to get shipped out, go through transport, go to your house, readjust, reacclimate. So the reality is, if I'd bought an adult dog that's 18 months, I wouldn't breed her on the first one. I'd let her get situated. I'd hold her for 6 months and breed her on her second heat with me, just so I understand how she is. Stress, very big factor for dogs, guys. Let her understand me, bond with me, let her meet the pack and get along with the pack, or not, right? We don't know. I have adult females here that I purchased. They don't get along with every dog that I have in my yard. And so now I have to let certain dogs out. You know what I mean? It adds time to my day. And certainly you want to avoid any kind of altercations and fights and things like that. even if with a dog that's within your pack, there'll be squabbles. They'll fight over treats, toys, affection. You know, when you have that amount of dog, especially our breed, very big dog, they're gonna squabble and fight and rough play and rough house. That's part of being a dog, guys. And if you're a dog man, you know what I'm talking about. So here it is. How did we do in our first breeding, right? Let's compare first breeding, gross profit of 400 versus starting with a puppy, gross profit of 6,400. $6,000 difference, right? Second breeding, when we started with a puppy, is 19,500 versus an adult. 19,500, same number, right? Because we based it off same numbers. Back to the puppy, the third breeding, 16,850, should be the same thing, 16,850. Fourth, 19,500. Fourth, 19,500. So you see what I'm saying? Year 162. It's really not much difference. The monetarily, it's just that you didn't have the first year and a half of holding cost. So the year and a half of holding cost, you're buying a puppy at 5 or 7,000 versus buying a puppy at 15 or 20,000. You're actually paying for the time for the dog to grow. I tried both ways. I like both ways. Would I ever bring in another adult female? If I like the girl and she carries the phenotype and one of the bloods that I follow on my yard, the anchor points on my yard in terms of pedigree, I would. Absolutely. The risk I take is that I bring an adult dog. She's going to be, new environment. She may not get along with all my dogs. Now, that's the part of kennel management, right? Introduce dogs slowly, and all that stuff because, hey, you could fight over resources, a tennis ball, a bone, a dumb piece of wood that you don't even care for. Or one dog is too affectionate towards you, the other one gets jealous. And then they get into a little squabble over that. And that's, the chances of bringing in an adult into your space. And if you don't have the facility to separate dogs out and allow them their own spaces, then you probably shouldn't do it. Because if you have a fight on your hands, it's the worst thing to have to break two adults fighting. We never want our dogs to get damaged and fight. However, it'll happen. And you have to be responsible and plan ahead and know that it can happen and have preventive measures in place and tools to be able to not let it happen or stop it if it does, right? Moral of the story, guys, with the female, when you get a puppy female, for me, it starts with the mom and dad and the pedigree, second and third generation. Now, doesn't guarantee me anything. That dog can, have minor flaw, a major flaw when it's an adult. No one can guarantee you that. So the pros and the cons of getting a female adult versus a puppy is that a 1.5, 2-year-old adult, you can see any flaws on it and probably is going to remain that way. On a puppy, you don't know. You have to let that dog grow. And because we're in the XL lane, dogs grow so fast, you know what I mean? That for 3 months they look one way and all of a sudden things start to balance out and catch up. That's part of how, our dogs grow. And that's why for me, if my dog has a minor or major flaw, right? It's going to be genetic. It's not going to come from nutrition. So if you buy an adult female who was not given the best nutrition or supplementation, if she has a minor or major flaw, that's maybe something that could have been prevented with nutrition, right? And I'm talking about top lines. I'm talking about rears. I'm talking about east-west. I'm not talking about the bite of the dog. That's not something we can fix with nutrition. I'm not talking about, the bone density or the head size of the dog. Can't do that. Or a kink tail. I can't fix with a kink tail with nutrition. That's genetic. However, a dog with like a weird top line. Sometimes if we're all guilty of this. We're in XL lane. We want a 3-month-old puppy to be 250 pounds because we're in the XL lane, right? It's like, oh, my puppy's 3.5 months. He's 250 pounds. And you're ruining his feet, number one. And then you're ruining his back because his back is sagging because his belly's so damn big. I laugh because I see it all the time. We have a fast-growing breed, and you have to protect your dog's bone and joints. And therefore, I want a puppy to be healthy, but I'm also not going to make that puppy overweight because those things can ruin their structure. And then when their bones set around 18 or 24 months, now that's what they look like because you kept them obese or overweight for a very long time. And that's something that you can prevent. But anyhow, the difference of the puppy in an adult is that adult, what you see is what you get. If she has a weak pasterns or something, you could probably fix that with diet and supplementation. However, the back, the rear, everything else, at that point, you can't do nothing. So with that said, this is the episode of starting, with the female route. I have 7 females on my yard. I purchased 2 adults and I have 5 puppies of different ages. I have one girl that's turning a year this month. Our girl Maki. It's almost her birthday in about a week. I got Snickers, who's 11 months. I got my Samba girls, Katana and Hershey, who are 10 months right now. And I got Big Bertha, who is roughly 3.5 months, somewhere there. So I have different ages, right? And then I have 2 adults. So I have 7 females on my yard, is what I'm telling you. And I'm going over the cost, the care, and everything else that's involved with going this route. Announcements. This month we're taking our girl Lily. If you guys don't already know, watching the episode still, we got this girl Lily. She is a daughter of King Zion and Bossy's Tetra. This is Whopper's sister, Whopper's littermate. We got her as an adult, and we are taking her to the man himself, Zippo. Great Gritter Bullies, who is also off of Zion and Henny Gorgeous. On her side, she's got Markov, which lines up with everything I have on my yard. I love that boy Zippo. Big fan of his. It won't be the last time I use him, guys. If you're not up to speed, check him out. Great Gritter Bully Zippo. But our girl Lily, Lilac Tri, beautiful girl. Big bone, big dog. XL for sure. We're expecting her to go to heat this month. That's an adult female we recently purchased, maybe 6 weeks ago. Maybe 7 weeks ago, something like that. But yeah, she's loving that raw food here. Loving that new joint DS. I mean, she is just looking incredible. So we're excited to breed her. And we got that one coming up this month. And we got a repeat breeding with Fortuna in June. So stay tuned, guys. We got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. But I really wanted to go over this episode because a lot of you guys asked for it. So don't want to hold you up, guys. Happy Sunday. Happy post-Easter if you celebrate. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. If you haven't already done so, please, bop, bop, bop. It's free to you. It's free 99. Doesn't cost you $1 to do it. And again, we're committed to bring you guys quality content. So, Earl at Sumo Bully Kennel, guys, checking out. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment or DM me directly on Instagram. Take care. Have a blessed week. Peace.